Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about rejection as it relates to narcissistic abuse. Because we dealt with a lot of rejections in this relationship. Okay? Now, when we think about the rejection and narcissistic abuse, most of our minds will automatically, wander to the discard phases of the relationship. And yes, those were certainly cut clear and straightforward rejections that occurred between us and the narcissist, whether we were rejecting them or they were rejecting us, or basically rejecting each other in this scenario. But, the narcissist also rejected so many other aspects of the relationships and so many aspects of you. In essence, the narcissist rejected your love. They actually, rejected your loyalty. They rejected, any type of honor, honesty. They rejected anything that would be healthy. They rejected you sexually at times, for those of you that were in romantic relationships. I mean, the list could really go on and on, but, there's definitely, if we go below or look beneath the surface there's a whole iceberg underneath the water, and it's just full of a ton of rejection, guys. So I just wanted to make this video to encourage and empower those of you that struggle with that rejection, because typically when you are exposed to that kind of rejection, it takes a ding at your self-confidence and your self-worth. And all of a sudden, and I've been there, you're looking in the mirror and you're wondering, what's wrong with me? Is there something I could have done better? Or, and especially for those of you who have been in cycles of abuse with narcissists over and over with the same one, or narcissist after narcissist, just trading them out, different names and faces, but the same deal over and over. After a while, when you're in all these toxic relationships, you will start to self-reflect and think something is wrong with you. That it's a spirit rejection. There is a spirit of rejection. And when it's circling around you, oh my gosh, it can definitely have a negative impact on your life and your mind and your psyche, basically. I just want you guys to have an awareness of all these types of rejections that you experience that are beyond just the discard. In essence, the narcissist rejected your essence. Really? They rejected your being because they weren't even embracing that to begin with. That's not what they were going for. They just wanted the supply. So you as a person and a human being with feeling and emotions and desires and wants and, the love and care that you were trying to send their way, that was all rejected and deflected elsewhere. It certainly wasn't something that they could receive or reciprocate. And that's very hurtful. I know the hurt. And, it could literally cause a physical pain. I've had instances in the thick of my healing where I actually felt physical pain behind these rejections. It was like literally feeling like a piece of my heart was breaking behind it, like the severity of it. Because, it can go quite far depending on how entangled that narcissist was in your life, what the scenario was, some of the consequences that could come afterwards. It could devastate a person. That's how people have died from broken hearts. They could just get swallowed. They're getting swallowed by the sorrow and the heartache and the pain that they're suffering without that relief. But I'm glad that you guys have found my channel, and there's other channels as well to uplift you and pull you out of those spaces and places. it's normal to go down into those trenches after you've dealt with such a toxic person, but you don't have to stay there. It's certainly not a death sentence, and it's not something that basically has to last forever. I always encourage people to feel their feelings and not, repress and push down. We got to let them come up in the surface and acknowledge them. And then we can do the work of, dissecting where the feelings are coming from and what can I do to alleviate and then eliminate that feeling. Okay, because that's what I had to do. And sometimes it's just as simple as letting it work its way out and giving it time. Just like if I fell down on the ground and scraped my knees really bad. Okay, I acknowledge my scrape. I've treated it. I'm taking all the proper first aid steps to keep it from getting infected and to heal. All I can do now is let it run its course of healing, of the healing process. Let it go ahead and scab, let the scab fall off, and then let my pigment come back and tan again. I just have to let it go through the stages after I've done everything that I could do. And then in time, of course, it's not going to feel tight like it was when it was scabbing. It's not going to feel stinging and burning when the air hits it like the first day. Eventually it's healing. And I may have a bruise left, because we're going to remember what happened, but it certainly doesn't feel and affect me the same way. Okay, guys? Rejection, we face that in so many areas of our life, even outside of the narcissist. It's just a part of the human experience. Everything isn't for everyone, and everyone isn't our friend, and everyone isn't going to embrace us in a positive light. We all will experience betrayal. We live long enough on this earth. Some of us even back into our childhood, okay? Because no one's perfect. We're surrounded by imperfect people just doing the best that they can and operating from their level of consciousness at that moment in time. Our parents, none of our parents were perfect, but they were operating at the level of consciousness that they were at that time. And, they had a little brokenness probably from their childhood or from their life that they had. We're all collecting these experiences, but it's all in the way that we deal with, the traumas and the ups and downs of life. Okay. But again, I just want to encourage someone out there that's feeling heavily rejected to know that, anything that's truly meant to stay in your life will stay in your life. We have to wrap our mind around the concept of, most things in life are temporary. And then the things that do stay with us lifelong, that was ordained to be with us. But most people that we come in contact with, they're temporary. They are lessons. They are experiences that we need to collect on our journey through life to show us this and that. And it's an opportunity for us to grow and to learn and to become better people. But it's not an opportunity for us to latch on to people and try to drag them with us through our whole journey. No, sometimes there's just an end date for it and that's it. And then sometimes it doesn't end nice and neat and clean. Nope, we're not always warranted that. We're not going to be, it's not going to always be nice and friendly. It's not always going to be amicable and peaceful. Sometimes it's going to be nasty and dirty and raunchy, disrespectful. These things happen. And this is what happens in a narcissist most of the time when we're having that final discard with them or going through discards with them, basically. But we gravitate towards the things in this life that serves us. Okay? We gravitate towards that and we let go of the things that don't. We don't need to force anything in this life. Okay? No matter how bad we wanted something, we can't force. We cannot force, guys. But I hope this message helps someone. And, you know, if you want to get coaching with me one-on-one, I do still have, you know, slots available for this weekend even, more so Sunday. Just email CoachLakia@gmail.com, and we can talk about the things that are bothering you in life or what it is in pertaining to narcissistic abuse. You know, I just talk to people about relationships, period, and just with themselves. I do group coaching as well. All right. Okay, and there's also the books on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, guys, that help you heal from toxic relationships. Oh my gosh, the X Factor Poetry Edition Volume 1 and 2, those are specifically stemming off of my narcissistic abuse. Doesn't get any more raw than that. Okay. So you'll probably see yourself in many of those scenarios as well. All right. I do have a Facebook community that I'm growing. Just friend request me that, and I will leave that in the description down there. All right. And I always have other video suggestions down there as well for you guys. All right. And until next time, guys, stay well. Keep doing the work. Tap into all the resources that you can. Keep loving yourself. Give yourself the time. Be gentle. Be gentle. All right. And take care.